Welcome to Speak for Yourself. I'm Jason Whitlock. That's Marcellus Wiley, that dude. Marcellus, come up in that chair a little bit. You're a little too low. No. Coming up, I'll tell you why there might actually be a method to Jerry Jones's madness.
And I've got another installment of the Emmy Award-winning That Dude's Dudes. But we start every day with a Whitlock. So what you got today, big dog?
All right, Marcellus, you know I'm old school, and I believe I told you last week one of my favorite rap groups of all time was EPMD.
E-double.
Eric and Parrish making dollars. All of their albums reference business. Strictly Business, Unfinished Business, Business as Usual, Business Never Personal. Today I'm wondering if Le'Veon Bell and his agent, Adisa Bakari, have ever even heard of EPMD because they've allowed this business with the Pittsburgh Steelers to become way too personal. They got to chill.
Chill.
Bell skipping this entire season may go down in history as one of the dumbest decisions in sports negotiation of contracts ever. By not reporting yesterday, Bell and his agent gave Pittsburgh absolutely all the leverage. The Steelers, if they choose, can now retain Bell's rights next season by slapping a transition tag on him. They'd owe him between $9.5 and $14.5 million. They could use the transition tag as leverage to force a trade and get some compensation for Bell's departure. Had Bell simply reported on Tuesday and finished out this season, he would have automatically been an unrestricted free agent. This coming off season, his path to auctioning himself off to the highest bidder would have been clear-cut. Now he's dependent on the goodwill of the Steelers to cut him or some creative poison pills loaded into his next contract. The process to getting out of Pittsburgh now includes racializing the conversation around Bell. 3 weeks ago in a story for The Undefeated, Adisa Bakari played the first race card saying, quote, "Now my analysis of things certainly is shaped by the unique history of African Americans. My analysis of the economics of the NFL certainly are shaped by the historical experience of black athletes and the mistreatment of black athletes. So that history is interwoven in my thought process, of course." And yesterday, as it became clear that Bell would sit, the social justice warrior media picked up Bakari's dog whistle. The NFL Network's Jim Trotter wrote, "There's a racial component to the lack of support Bell is receiving from fans." Bleacher Report's Mike Freeman analogized Bell's plight to Colin Kaepernick and suggested some NFL owners will collude to keep Bell out of the league. Yep, right before our very eyes, Bell is being turned into a victim of the racist NFL. Bell isn't the second coming of John Riggins, the white Hall of Fame running back who sat out the entire 1980 season in a contract dispute with the Redskins. Nope. Bell is Kunta Kinte, and the NFL is attempting to chop off his foot. Look, life is full of hard decisions. Sometimes we're a victim of our own bad decision-making and an unwillingness to sacrifice. The NFL free agency rules are spelled out rather clearly. Report and do the 6 games were Bell's path to unrestricted free agency. Bell shouldn't allow mouthy Steelers offensive lineman or James Conner's success to distract him from his business agenda. In my opinion, ego and pride have clouded Bell's decision-making. He's made a checkers move in a game of chess. His free agency fate is now outside his control, and he's lost millions of dollars he'll never recoup. Blame Bell and his agent for not keeping this negotiation strictly business. All right, joining the desk now, Fox NFL analyst Greg Jennings and the NFL Network's Bucky Brooks. Marcel, start with you.
Yeah.
I believe Bell will regret the way he's handled these contract negotiations.
I don't think so. If you go back to what he's standing on in principle, we have to respect the 2 principles of this world. One is principle with the AL, which is talking about the money, and one is with the LE, which is talking about what you believe in. And I think that his belief in not only his value, his worth, but also the fact that they were trying to use up all of his bullets and not pay proper value for them is why I think this man standing on principle LE is going to make sure that the AL doesn't have to match what everyone is saying. What are they saying? 5 years, $70 million. How dare you turn that down? What are they saying? Oh, 1 year, $14.55 million. How dare you turn that down? But when you want to talk about what's important to someone, it's difficult to get in that conversation and speak for them. money doesn't cure all ills. You know that when you get some money. You don't know that when you don't have any money. When you're growing up broke, you think money solves all problems. And he's in a place where he has some money, but he knows what he deserves and what he should be allowed to attain. I respect a man who's going to combine those two forces of AL and LE in principle and goes out there and does his job. He's going to get rewarded. We know that. And he may not even get the exact numbers that some think he should in projection, but it doesn't matter because I think that he's done something of this generation in pioneering a new belief in yourself no matter what position you play on that field.
I think what Le'Veon Bell did is he understood exactly how the game was going to be played. When I worked in front offices, our objective was to take running backs high, put them on a 5-year deal, run them into the ground. At the end of year 4, draft another one. And at the end of his 5th year, let the running back go. Le'Veon Bell played at bargain basement prices for the Pittsburgh Steelers for 4 seasons before they put the tag on him. They were going to put the tag on him again. When we look at the numbers, he has the second most touches of anybody from 2013 to 2017. He's played the most snaps of anybody at the running back position during that same span. To think that the Pittsburgh Steelers were going to put him on the franchise tag, they were going to ride him out this year, give him 400 touches, and then next year they were going to give him a big deal? Nah, player.
That's not
happening.
That's not the argument, though.
And so what he decided to do is, and we do the economics, he could have taken 2 franchise tags. The Pittsburgh Steelers were guaranteeing $17 million. That's great for 1 year. However, if he played on the tag and played on the tag again next year, he was going to get $33 million. So the contract negotiation has to start at that point. The Pittsburgh Steelers are a model franchise, but the way they do contracts, they do practical guarantees, not real guarantees. They only give you their money that first year they don't do it. So for him, he's like, I can get the money if I sit on the franchise tag 2 years. Just guarantee me that amount and I'll show up. They refuse to. Got to do business.
Mm-hmm.
You're arguing something, though. Look, I understood why he held out. He was not getting his value. I'm saying show up so you can become an unrestricted free agent and auction yourself off to the highest bidder where you don't have to concern yourself about what the Pittsburgh Steelers are going to do. Again, they can put this transition tag on him. Show up, do your business, and get your freedom in 6 games or 7 games or whatever if they make it to the playoffs.
I hear you, but I don't think that this was a dumb decision by Le'Veon Bell in any regard, simply because he puts himself at risk once he reports. Practicing, possibly getting injured, it puts yourself at risk. He's thinking in the back of his mind, look at what happened to Earl Thomas. I understand it was earlier in the year, but the longer you wait, the more we all understand this. The longer you're out of that game, you can't imitate that with your workouts, your catered workouts and customized workouts to you. So I put myself back in that position. They say, oh, let's put him on the field. Something happens. Now his stock plummets even more. So I would just pause and take the hit. He understands I am taking a hit. But high risk, high reward. And I think there is somebody, and he knows it, that is going to bite because he is a big fish if you land him.
Yeah, here's the problem. It's not just the injury scope, and I think we've all talked about that ad nauseum. It's when you ever been on the field with a coach in any situation and there's conflicting interests. You had a problem with coach during the week. It could be it could get petty. And you need that coach to be on board with you. But in this moment or in these few games, maybe he's not fully on board with you. He's of split mind. James Conner is our future, but you're our short-term rental present. Does coach invest in me? Does coach call the plays for me? Does coach put me in the perfect positions to succeed? Beyond injury, beyond the danger of the game is, are we pulling in the same direction, Pittsburgh Steelers? And I've been there before when you're on that fence with coach and it's just like he's rooting for you, but there's someone upstairs saying, hey, Wiley's a big cap hit, Wiley's a big mouth in the locker room, it'd be easier to go with that cheaper, lesser value even if we lose some production. Don't forget the politics of the game at play, and no one wants to raise their hand and volunteer to walk into that arena when you know not everyone's on board with you.
You've made, and y'all have made some good points. I think I want to move to a second layer of this before we go. I think this analogy that's being made to Colin Kaepernick is ridiculous because for what Greg has said, he's going to get his money. Somebody's going to pay. His talent is so enormous, several teams will be in competition for Le'Veon Bell. There is no analogy here to me to Colin Kaepernick. There's no reason to be playing a race card here in this situation with Le'Veon Bell.
I don't think it's a race thing. I think the bigger issue that I have when I go back and forth with people on Twitter has been just the valuation of the running back position. I believe people think that running backs are a dime a dozen, and I think for so long in our league, people are willing to pay the position, not the player. I believe we need to value the good players and pay them accordingly. Just because he plays running back, this dude is one of the top 10, top 15 players in the National Football League. He deserves to be paid like that. And so I know fantasy football has impacted us, and we look at everybody like the numbers are the same. But when I talk to people and I talk to defensive coordinators, they say, man, the Pittsburgh Steelers just got a whole lot easier to beat in the playoffs because they don't have 26 on the field.
Well, I disagree with that. I push back because, look, we all grew up in an era where at 8 years old, when you went out to that park and signed up and $65 in registration money and selling candy, mama said, what you going to play? You said, running back. I mean, I know I raised my hand. Anybody with any type of speed, any type of athleticism wanted to play running back. And then you got to the league, and there still was a position of value. But it's devolved. It has certainly went the other way in terms of value, in terms of even impact. You have to be a running back that's a dual threat. You just can't be out there. There was a day where you could be running back and didn't even have to pass protect.
Mm-hmm.
Then they were like, you have to learn how to pass protect. Now it's like you have to learn how to catch the ball out the backfield. Le'Veon Bell does all of that. However, the running back position has lost its value in totality, and that's just tough luck. I mean, look, there was a day when if you had a kid that was 6'10 or above, oh, my God, turn his back to the basket, let him play center. How has that worked out for that kid right now in today's NBA? They're trying to get them out of there. So today's center in basketball is today's running back in football. Value is determined by how the game is being played, and it's been playing different at that position.
The only thing I'll say to go back at that is Todd Gurley. What are your feelings on Todd Gurley? What is his impact on the Rams? When you look at Saquon Barkley and what he's been able to do coming off the field, Christian McCaffrey. So I understand when we talk about running backs and how the game is being played differently. Le'Veon Bell is a hybrid. When he talked about being a RB1 and a wide receiver 2, he is that. I think those guys are the ones that deserve to be paid.
And for me, that's what's most important. The running back position as a whole, it may be devalued, but what these guys that you just mentioned provide, that's not devalued. That is of value, high value at that. We see because Todd Gurley's getting paid. Look at Alvin Kamara. You think somebody's not going to pay him? No, yes, they will. And so what Le'Veon Bell provides, it's not even remotely close to a Colin Kaepernick situation.
Thank you for going there, because I was just about to go back to Bucky and Marcellus have danced on me.
We danced on you?
Gangsters don't dance, we boogie.
Well, y'all done boogied on me. This Colin Kaepernick and trying to turn this into some sort of racial conversation is inappropriate and stupid here. Le'Veon Bell's gonna get paid. No one questions his talent or value. There's damn near any owner in the league would love to have Le'Veon Bell.
Look. This is an impossible parallel, Kaepernick and Le'Veon Bell, for many reasons. One, they are already starting off in different places, but at the same time, you can see commonality. Here we go. Colin Kaepernick, first day he protested, no one even took notice. Okay, Colin Kaepernick is continuing to protest. Now we take notice. The outcome of the protest, no one knew in that moment. You're looking at Le'Veon Bell right now, and he has finally made his ultimate protest. I'm not coming in. We don't know what's going to happen with him in terms of contract situation. We're thinking there's going to be light at the end of the tunnel. We didn't know that Colin Kaepernick was going to have opportunities or not opportunities. He had opportunities to stay with the 49ers. He had opportunity to go to Denver. I'm just saying right now, to make it analogous to Colin Kaepernick, to me, is lazy, because I don't even see all the parallels there.
Yeah, I don't see the parallels. I don't think it would be blackballed. I don't think it would be a situation where people will look at this situation in Pittsburgh and say, oh, we can't bring him in. I think at the end of the day, people love performance and production. He can perform, he can produce, he'll get paid. I don't think that'll be an issue. It only takes one. It only takes one to fall in love with him. I think he'll find more than one.
Bucky, be real, though. They don't love production in an absolute sense.
No.
Okay, right. Because how many times we've been in the locker room, we're like, why isn't he starting over him? Oh, why isn't this guy on our team if he's available? And look, Colin Kaepernick fell into that boat. I have never proclaimed that the NFL, every team was about the 53 best men they could acquire or the 11 best on the field. Look, Kaepernick has a value as a player to a point where he should be in the locker room, but then you add up everything else that comes with that player, obviously that keeps you out the locker room. Le'Veon, you add up everything about him, suspensions, issues, everything, still going to be in somebody's locker room.
I just think Le'Veon Bell's one of the best players in the NFL.
Yeah.
Probably top 20. Kaepernick's not anywhere close to the top 20. It's a dumb analogy. Time for some big stories. Whitlock and Wiley. Greg Jennings and Bucky Brooks are back. Let's move to Dallas, where the Cowboys must be feeling pretty good after their season-saving win over the Eagles Sunday night. Jerry Jones has been on the offensive this week, pushing back against critics who have doubted his commitment to Dak Prescott and made it clear he's very satisfied with how he's built the team.
I do think that we've put together here one of the best personnel groups that we've had. I do think that when you look at what we've seen with our quarterback, for instance, if you asked me for a redo and said, do you want to start over again or do you want to take what you've seen from Dak Prescott and go from here with it? I'll take what we've done going from here with it because I know he's done some things in his short career here that are what you want to go forward with a young quarterback.
Look, I'm going to go out on a limb. I'm the guy that's going to completely defend Jerry Jones here and say that when we got into this Monday, and I'm kind of circling back to it, I like Jerry's vision. I like what Jerry's doing. Jerry, to me, has made a decision. We're not going to have a $30 million quarterback. I'm going to go with a $15 million quarterback and build a complete team. I believe it's a leftover philosophy from Bill Parcells. I believe Bill Belichick and the Patriots were built this way originally. Look at Tom Brady's first 41 starts, and I'm not comparing Dak Prescott to Tom Brady.
Looks like it.
He won't. But look at those numbers. Dak Prescott in his first 41 starts. Do I think he's going to turn into Tom Brady? No, I don't. But I get the vision of let's put a young guy that we drafted low out there, surround him with the right personnel, and maybe he develops into more than what he really is. And that's what Tom Brady did in New England. And Tom Brady's always taken a little less money, and New England's had a more complete team. That is Jerry's vision. I don't think it's crazy.
Once you said you went on a limb, and I knew that limb was going to snap, I wasn't listening to you, man. But, I respect what you're saying, Whitlock. He's lowballing him. He's doing a public negotiation right now in front of all of our eyes, and Dak is taking all this bait.
Again, you can say lowball. He's executing a vision.
Okay.
I don't want a $30 million quarterback.
It wasn't a vision because he didn't go to sleep wanting this. This just is a nightmare that is happening. He said, I'm going to get what I can, unintended consequences off a guy who's not playing up to standard. He did not draft Dak Prescott, and then when he saw him go in for Tony Romo and saw that amazing rookie year, said, oh, I can't wait to get him that Case Keenum money. No, he did not, because you're playing like Case Keenum, and that's the problem right here. This year's Case Keenum, not last year's Case Keenum. We're going with this Russell Wilson model that worked up in Seattle. Oh, you got him on a young rookie contract, build a team around him, everything's going to be beautiful. That's value. Dak is not value because Dak is no risk, no reward. Dak right now is not going to give you the contrast of value, which is I'm paying you little, but you're giving me a lot. Dak is not going to give you a lot. So even if you pay him a little, you're going to get what you pay for, which is a little. Dak Prescott in an inflated NFL is not putting up impressive numbers. I don't understand. The only thing I think that he's trying to do, your vision, Jerry's vision, is make him Dak Sanchez. And Mark Sanchez walked into the Jets, said, we got this defense, we got this running game, we got this young quarterback, we're going to protect you. And what happened to that protection? Sooner or later, we need you to win us some games. And that's when the rubber met the road and things didn't go as well. Be careful, Jerry.
Man, you go hard at Dak Prescott. You go hard in the paint on him. But this is what I'm going to say about Jerry Jones, and I believe, Whitlock, you've been stealing some notes off my page. Jerry Jones is doing the right thing. This is when you pay Dak Prescott because the leverage is in the Cowboys' favor. True. You talked about Case Keenum and Blake Bortles. If he gets him on a deal at $18 million, that is a bargain. When the league is telling you that quarterbacks at 25, 26, 27, he has now saved a boatload of money to then allocate to other people that he can pay. And then when you talk about Dak Prescott isn't playing well, Alex Smith leads the division. You know Alex Smith hasn't had a 300-yard game and a win. Alex Smith in 3 of their last wins has been sub 200 yards. So when we think about quarterbacks, I know fantasy football has influenced us that you got to have 300 and 400 yards. That's not the case. This team is being built the right way. They lock up Dak Prescott with all these young weapons. They will eventually get to the winner's circle.
Look, other teams may not always agree with Jerry Jones' approach by how he really corrals around his star players that he brings into the fold. But it's genius when you think about it because he has them on a relationship and a personal basis. So now I can converse with you on that level. Look, Dak, this is what the vision is. You want to continue to wear this helmet, you want to continue to grow with this team, this is what we're going to offer you. And this is what we need to offer you so we can continue to build the pieces around you, make you better. You'll get money from us, but ultimately, you'll be our brand as well. So you're going to incur funds and other streams of financial avenue that come off of what we're giving you because of what you're providing for us on the football field. It's a win-win for everybody. Yes, does Dak Prescott want the big numbers? Of course. But he signed up for this, and he kind of allowed them to be in this driver's seat by his lack of performance and production on the football field.
What if he has enough self-awareness to know this is what I need? I don't need to be the guy. I'm not Aaron Rodgers. Don't throw me out there and expect me to win all the games by myself. I'm going to take this $15 to $18 million. I'm going to wear this star on my helmet and make a bunch of money off the field, off the field. And when it's over, like Danny White and a bunch of other people that have played quarterback other than Roger Staubach and Troy Aikman in Dallas, we know them all because the Dallas brand is that strong. Dak Prescott may be in on this with Jerry and buy into the vision.
Boy, I'm glad none of y'all my agent because, boy, if somebody ever called my agent saying all this hometown discount before I went out there
it's not a discount. He's going to get what he's worth.
He's going to get what he's worth. Well, then if I'm going to get what I'm worth, why are we having all these conversations before we have action? Because you're only talking to me, you're only buttering me up. You're not giving me this conversation out of pure love. You're giving it to me because you want me to take this blow softer than other players would without that relationship you're talking about. Here's the real. You're trying to put a pretty bow and pretty wrapping paper over something that you know inside ain't the best gift. And this, look, Dak's in the driver's seat of this. You're right. He controls his own destiny, but I don't need these conversations because game speaks, and that's what it's supposed to be. I am out there to play, and my game is to be sold, not told. And right now, you talking too much to me, Jerry.
But I think, here's the thing. I think a couple of different things. You guys made good points. I think he does have enough self-awareness to know, man, I am in the biggest brand that I can be in. I'm the starting quarterback for America's team. I have the opportunity to make so much money off the field that it'll minimize the little bit that I give back on the table. Secondly, I've won. He has won a ton of games for the Dallas Cowboys.
True.
That first year or whatever. So I can see him being sold on this is the Tom Brady model. Tom Brady never was the highest paid guy, but he won a lot of games, and look at all the money that he's made off the field. We're in this together. You talk about being a brand. We've already seen him with national spots.
Oh, yeah.
He's a huge brand. I think Dak Prescott can buy into
Oh, yeah, look, if you're a former Dallas Cowboy, you're going to land in broadcasting, you're going to have national ads and all that. And I love all that. But that's usually secondary. What's primary as any player is let me go to the best situation where I'm going to go out there and show my talents. One, if Dak believes in himself fully, right now, I'm not happy with this Jason Garrett, Scott Linehan. I don't like that on my watch. What assurances are you giving me, Jerry, that this won't happen again? Because I'm the one that have to go home and take the criticism and heat. You can't throw for 300 yards. You can't throw for 4 touchdowns. That's one. Y'all giving me the coming down the hill speech. You know what? This is going to be great for you in transition into your retirement. Great after football. Hold on, bro. I haven't even established football yet. Why are we talking so far ahead?
No, I don't think it's a coming down the hill speech. I think it's a where we are speech. When you look at where Dak Prescott is, he is what he is because he's done that. When you start adding Amari Cooper and all these pieces around him, he is going to get better. We've seen him play at a better and a higher level. When you start adding pieces around him, you don't think his confidence is going to rise and he's going to get better? And you talk about putting a bow on a not so good gift. I think they understand who he is from a standpoint of leadership, what we need at that position. All those things, all those tangibles that a lot of quarterbacks miss and lack, and they just produce on the football field in stats, they have in Dak, and they feel like they can
in
get
your third
for the
year,
production.
whoever wanted to hear this come back at him? You in your third year.
No, I'm not saying I
Okay.
wouldn't.
So that means Dak has bought into the fact that I'm not as good as I think I am.
No. What if he knows how good he is? What if Jerry and him, of course Jerry's executing game. Life is a game. And he is definitely running game on Dak Prescott. But not all game is bad game. Trust me, I guarantee you ran game on your wife, and it wasn't bad game. And it was for a good purpose. It's for a good purpose.
Hold on.
And so Jerry Jones is sitting over there saying, look, man, this is what Tom Brady did. Tom Brady's never been the highest paid guy. Look how it's worked for him. Look how big his brand is with the New England Patriots and the success. He's selling Dak on a vision, and I think Dak is buying in. That's not undervaluing his.
No.
That's knowing who he
We
is.
playing this game. Can I play it? Can I go out there and get on this field? Can you produce a Bill Belichick? Don't give me all this Patriot model, because if you give me Patriot model, I'm like, are you Bob Kraft? Are you going to get out the way? Or are you going to give me Bill Belichick on the sideline? Or are you going to give me Jason Garrett, bro?
They may be having those questions, and they may end up with a new coach because of it.
I love all that, but your history tells me different. So what's the best indicator of future behavior? Past behavior. Jerry, you're telling me to take this butter discount, and I'm looking at you. I'm looking at you like, please give me some assurances, and Jerry Jones cannot.
We got it,
I just think it's hard to
We
turn down
all
18
right,
million.
Marcellus is wrong.
$700,000.
That's all that need to be said. All right, welcome back, Whitlock and Wiley. We're joined now by NBA champion Caron Butler.
Yes, sir.
Let's move to the Warriors, who were left scrambling after Kevin Durant and Draymond Green's dust-up earlier this week. The team clearly sided with Durant suspending Draymond for last night's game against the Hawks, but reportedly one Warriors player says, quote, there is no way Durant is coming back to Golden State once the season is over. After last night's game, Durant didn't exactly open up about the incident.
Have you and Draymond been able to hash anything out?
No.
Did he cross the line with anything last night that was said?
I'm gonna keep that in house. That's what we do here. I mean, obviously, I know you guys got a job to do, but I'm not trying to give nobody no headlines. What happened. We trying to move on. Just trying to play basketball.
Kevin, how would you sort of describe your friendship with Draymond? It seems like you guys have been friends for even before you became a Warrior. Is that fair to say?
I don't really think that even matters at this point right now. I mean, we just had a game. Anybody want to talk about the game?
Talk about the game.
Ask a question about the game.
All right, well, Brand's brother Tony added some fuel to the fire today on Instagram, writing, quote, true colors ain't hard to see when someone is mad. It's so much more clear now. Listen, the question is Draymond worth the hassle? Because Draymond's a hassle. He's an irritant. And I think if somehow the Warriors decide that Kevin Durant staying here is dependent on Draymond Green exiting, Draymond Green's going to exit. I think the Warriors will decide they're better off without Draymond if it allows them to keep Durant.
Oh, so you're saying that one-game suspension is a microcosm of how this can go, where we're going to support Durant in all efforts if we can.
Trying to keep him.
Try to keep him and appease him. It's interesting. I look at this, so many layers to this. One, I was at the game.
Yep.
Man, I was on the other side of the court. I wish I would have switched my seats to hear this funk, because I would have reported every single word. This is interesting because Draymond Green is absolutely worth the hassle. He's always been worth the hassle. In a room full of gas, you need some fire. And this boy is fire. He's the passion. He's the stirrer. He's the one that's going to go test them. He's going to be the one that brings everyone out of their skin, out their comfort zones, but guess what? To a greater place. Have they won 3 of the last 4 championships? Yeah. Has Draymond been on that roster? Yeah. He's worth it.
Cost them a championship. He cost them a championship.
He cost them a championship.
With his immaturity and stuff.
And it's amazing. We always talk about the incidents, but not the results. So we're going to now have a timeline of issues with Draymond Green.
No, he cost them a championship.
But how
in that
many did he
series.
win? How many did he help him win?
He won 3.
LeBron baited him.
He
into
helped him
something
get
stupid.
Durant to create this dynasty. So we're not going to give him proper credit, but we're going to go out there and give him the merit.
He's a strong part of the foundation in the fabric of that organization, why it turned around. The reason why it was a great carrot for Kevin Durant to come there. However, if you want to keep him there, you got to keep things on an even keel. And that right there was not cool.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? And look, you have your moments in the heat of the battle. You exchange words, and having that confrontation is all about camaraderie and winning, and you move forward. To me personally, from the outside looking in, I just don't see that being a resolved situation because it wasn't answered correctly. And Kevin Durant, he said it correct. Look, we just want to focus on basketball, moving forward, but it's just the energy of that situation just didn't seem right to me.
Let me add this, Marcellus. My take on this, I don't really have a problem with Draymond.
Right.
I don't.
I really don't. What Draymond's issue, though, is Kevin Durant's softness. This guy is a little soft, and Draymond plays too rough. And y'all were big kids. You remember sometimes you playing with the other kids your same age, and mom would be like, boy, you too big for that. You play too rough for them kids.
My cousin Tyann, every time.
Yeah.
Stop
I
it.
broke all my toys.
All of them, right.
And that's Draymond's issue. He plays too rough because to me, when I look at this incident, I don't see anything there that I would be upset about 24 hours later. I don't care what Draymond called him in the locker room or what was said here in this little confrontation. I would be over it the next day. KD ain't built that way. Draymond plays a little too rough for KD.
Oh, don't you dare try to twist this. Yeah, you twist it right
I
there.
see where you're going.
Yeah,
with
yeah.
this. That ain't cool. Right
That ain't cool. Here's the real. All right, there's 2 levels to this. One, Draymond, you ain't as thorough as you are advertised. You ain't as 100 as you want to go out there and profess. You know why? Because I've never seen somebody who keeps it 100 thoroughly all the time, and then all of a sudden they explode. Because if you're thorough in all moments and all encounters, there's no pinned up energy. There's no pinned up emotion. There's no, now let me just unveil everything. When Draymond unloaded on Kevin Durant, I think Kevin Durant and his brother realized, oh, you're the guy that wants to be the bully on the block, but in reality, you're sitting there suppressing a lot of issues. Interesting, that's level 1. Here's Kevin Durant's real issue with Draymond. It ain't because he's sensitive or soft. He's like, dude.
He's sensitive. He got burner
He could be, but not
he
in
got
this.
burner accounts.
He could be, but not because of this.
Everybody is.
Look,
I don't have a burner account.
I can't trust you and respect you. I'm talking basketball. My trust is that you're going to take this basketball one-on-one and take it the right way. So that's one issue. We're on the bench. I just said, dude, pass me the ball. You know why I'm here, right? And Draymond bucks that and then wants to yell at him. And here's why I don't respect you. Because you have no boundaries when you're wrong. Jason, you and I could go at it all day. But if you're wrong, you better know where to stop. And if you my teammate, you can't stop, oh, bruh, we got a real deep.
This is the only way, looking at the landscape of the association, the NBA, this is the only way that the Golden State Warriors can be beat. It has to be something
From inside.
Inside.
Implode.
It's the only way. And the perfect person is at the helm in Steve Kerr because he played with just about everything. He's seen just about everything. So he's going to be able to keep those personalities under control for the most part. But it's going to be interesting how it play out.
Marcellus, I'm going to push back, though. You're speaking the language of marriage, and to me, the language of man and woman and boundaries. In a locker room, in a competitive setting, boundaries get crossed all the damn time.
No, they don't. No, they don't.
Yeah, they do.
Whitlock, I've been in the locker room many times and then seen fights and been in corner and count. Guess what? You know what you don't do? You don't grab the chair. You don't grab the ketchup bottle. You don't grab the knife. You don't go at it. You know the boundaries. You're like, look, we going to get at it, but tomorrow I need you.
Did Gilbert Arenas and these guys not bring guns to the locker room?
Look, that's one altercation of 1,000 trillion.
Didn't nobody kill nobody.
Let's go ask Baylor basketball. I mean, look, and again, I'm not justifying or any of that, but I'm just saying.
I hear you.
I've seen things cross boundaries inside locker rooms, and they do.
And that's telling. When you go to that extent, oh, we got to blow this thing
Man, he called him a name. Big deal. To me, that's 24 hours. When we won championships together, he helped recruit me there. I just can't let a little verbal conflict.
It ain't the name, it's the unloading. You've been wearing that for how many months and years, and now you're going to unload because I told you, pass me the ball? That's how close you're to the edge, and you missed the 100? Oh, bruh, you wearing some thinly veiled colors now. Now I can see you.
Please don't let that spill over.
All right, it's time for That Dude's Dudes. Sponsored by Captain Morgan. Drink responsibly. Captain's orders. All right, Greg Jennings and Bucky Brooks are back. Marcellus, what you got for That Dude's Dudes?
You know what I got. The unheralded. In the trenches, the ones who make it happen but don't get the highlights. Now we show them love on That Dude's Dudes, the big uglies. Let's go to my L.A. Chargers. Defensive end Melvin Ingram. I know you heard his name because he's supercharged out there. Finally, we get a spin move on That Dude's Dudes. You can see him unloading on Derek Carr. Take that L. And they're still rolling. Go, Corey. That's my dog right there as well. Now, let's show you. In the 3 technique, you usually don't see a guy standing up in linebacker position, looks like. Uh-oh, this is what's going to happen. So now you can see he's going to run a game, it looks like. Oh, but the game is getting punched. He's trying to make sure that he gets to the offensive tackle's inside arm, but instead he realizes, overplayed by the guard. Look at the footwork. Not the best footwork in the spin move. You want to open up the hips, but the best up top. Look at that arm play right there. You lock that arm, you lock that elbow, and now, big dog, hey, you know what you need to do? You need to help out on this play. Help me out, young lady.
What are you waiting for, huh? What are you waiting for? What are you waiting for?
Yeah, y'all trying to tell me up there in Oakland, everybody loves Derek Carr. He's just waiting there letting this quarterback get sacked. You know what happens? Melvin Ingram, That dude, number 3. Now let's get to number 2. My man, Quentin Nelson. Everybody's seen this play, but everybody doesn't know why this play occurred. Oh, Indianapolis Coast. Pulling guard. Yeah. Barry Church. It's time to go to church. You might be horizontal in that church right there. Now, this is how it all happens. Barry Church is running down the play. Now, his eyes, look at the 3 levels, 2 offensive linemen and a running back. Barry Church has seen this 1,000 times. And now, as you can see, the containment is going to go wide. Instead of forcing this, he's going to go wide. Look at the footwork right there. Everything is saying, I'm making a business decision. I'm trying to get out of there. Barry Church gets the consequence of this. His eyes are on the right things. He is not expecting Quentin Nelson to turn this up. He's expecting him to go out. But Quentin Nelson said, you know what? Since y'all want to widen, I'm going upfield. And Barry Church, looking at that running back, does not see that monster truck coming for him right now. Look out. Help me out with this one.
I'm gonna lay my hands on
I think Barry Church is an old Mac boy. I think he played the Mac.
Old Mac boy, Quentin Nelson. Stall him out. Number 2, That Dude of the Week. And now let's go to number 1. Probably our number 1 sacker in the game. Bears linebacker Khalil Mack. Return of the Mack. Yeah, because he's going to be in this every single week. Look at him right there coming around the corner. Matt Stafford, take this. Now, standing up, linebacker position. Well, you're going against the tight end who wants to release, so I'm not mad at that. But look at this arm work right there. First, he grabs the wrist. So now you got him at your mercy. Once you have the wrist, you can control offensive lineman. Look at that. Ooh, the cleat's not even in the ground. On his heel.
Head down.
And, head down, looking like Jason Whitlock, Ball State. Look at that baby. Coach was saying, you got to rock that baby to sleep. And this is a horrible position to be in right now. No power. Can't squat 5 pounds in that mummy position. So now you get caught up like this, and it is time to turn into the mummy. Khalil Mack. Got him by the wrist, got him opened up, and now it's time to do what Coach loves, dead bug him. He's dead bug right there. Step on the roach, get to Matt Stafford, and look at the beauty of this. Hey, Clay Matthews, you can sack a quarterback the right way. Look, the NFL safety rule already in effect. Khalil Mack, instead of running and sending a message, lays them down gently. Number 1, That Dude of the Week, Khalil Mack.
All right, great job, Marcellus. Should have had Sheldon Day in from the 49ers and Warren Central High School.
True.
He'll be on the show later. All right, let's move to a guy who wasn't very dominant this week, Tom Brady, who struggled in New England's blowout loss to the Titans Sunday. Last year, Brady won the MVP at age 40, but at 41, he appears to be slowing down. And even Brady admits he, quote, wants to play better. When you look at the numbers, it's easy to understand why. With big drops in almost every category except interceptions, where he's already just 1 shy of his total from last year. All right. I don't want to make too much of it because when you're the MVP last year, it's hard to repeat. So, of course, there's going to be a drop-off in play. But with everybody's passing numbers skyrocketing, I think it's concerning that Brady's have taken this kind of dip this season. I think Father Time started to catch up with him.
Oh, it would be concerning if we didn't look beyond layer one. But the devil's in the details. Was Julian Edelman there the first 4 weeks of this season? Yes or no?
Nope.
Gronkowski been injured again this year? Yes or no?
Yeah.
Happens every year.
for Gronkowski, not Edelman necessarily, his favorite target, favorite receiver. And then we're looking at some of these numbers by averages. It's amazing how it can get grossly exaggerated, his demise. We're talking about a 12-yard per game difference. All that means is let me see the Jets a couple more times, which I will, and light them up, which he will. And then he's going to be on par. But nothing's concerning to me. This is an offense just a few weeks ago. We were applauding for scoring 38-plus points in winning effort. An offense that went through a shootout and won over your Kansas City Chiefs. So, to me, it's exaggerated if you say Father Time has caught up to him.
No, it's caught up.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I think we're reaching the end. I think we've seen it. Normally, when your quarterback gets older, you need more support around him. The New England Patriots don't have the same supporting cast around him to elevate his play. And Tom Brady's been great. Tom Brady will go down as the GOAT and all those things. But Father Time is undefeated. Father Time is catching up with Tom. We're seeing the slippage in his game. We're seeing more errant throws from him in the pocket. We're seeing him see the ghost, take sacks when people aren't around. I think he knows it. I think he senses that he's losing his mojo, and that is okay. They still can win with him, but they're going to need the supporting cast to step up. But the numbers don't lie. His game is regressing.
I'm with you, Bucky. I think Father Time is catching up with him. I don't think they should be alarmed because, as you alluded to, this has been my point all week. Once you get older, you understand I need more support, and that's okay. He's a smart quarterback, so you understand my physical abilities may be dwindling a bit, but up here, I still got that. So if you give me what I need, I can still be more than enough to get wins in the win column.
Time to put on our thinking caps. We're joined now by Fox College football analyst Joel Klatt. As you all know, I'm a journalist. We've got our resident Ivy Leaguer, Columbia Marcellus. Time to take a deeper look at an issue in sports. All right, Darnell, bring out the thinking cap for our very arrogant Ivy Leaguer who barely graduated. I got to look at the transcripts.
Does it matter? Wait, but does it matter?
A 2.01.
That's like a boat barely floating.
Only
Is
in
it
high
floating?
school. Right.
Let's move to college football, where Alabama's still number one in the playoff rankings and won't face much of a challenge to their supremacy this week against the Citadel. Even still, Nick Saban says he has no plans to sit Tua Tagovailoa, their quarterback, who has been playing through a knee injury for weeks and limped off the field and had to leave Bama's game last week against Mississippi State. I think it's a bad look for Nick Saban if Tua plays this week. I'd normally defend Nick Saban at all costs. I don't see why you would play Tua against the Citadel. I think if something goes wrong here and he somehow got hurt, it could damage Nick Saban's reputation. Look, I could hand the ball off this week against the Citadel. And Alabama's going to win by 3 or 4 touchdowns. They don't, and I know Jalen Hurts is hurt, but they don't need to be playing Tua.
I disagree with that. The building blocks of Alabama's success is not just talent-based, it's the culture. And in a culture where you're telling all these players, it's a great game of skill, but it's a greater game of will. One thing we can't show is favoritism. One thing we can't show is exclusivity, and even in injury, because favoritism comes in many forms. Everyone's saying, well, hey, if the guy's hurt, just sit him down. But it's with a caveat. He's hurt because we're playing the Citadel. In a culture where I tell everyone, never disrespect your opponent, never take a day off, always respect and trust the process. And you're going out there preaching that. And then a guy's like, if this were a playoff game, a game of high importance, I would play. And he's like, this is a game of high importance. Back to the culture and the building blocks. So I had to learn that behavior. I was on 10 years in the NFL of non-championship teams. And when I start seeing parallels between a Saban and I see it between a Belichick, it's a game where we're saying you are talented. If you buy in, you can do greater things than you ever could imagine. But none of you guys are special without all of you guys. And I think that's why he's going to make sure he plays.
It's interesting you bring up Bill Belichick, because that's actually where I was going to go and draw a parallel of the question always was, why does New England always beat Peyton Manning and the Colts? Remember that? You know, New England just owned them, and it was like, wow, is it Brady better than Manning, or what's good? Is it the roster? But the Colts have Marvin Harrison. What's going on? Well, you could talk about the approach of the organization back in the day, and that approach was that New England very rarely, if ever, that I can remember, ever rested players at the end of the year. Guess what the Colts always did the last couple of weeks of the regular season? We're going to rest our players so that we can be ready for the stretch run. So the mentality of the New England Patriots was far different than the mentality of the Indianapolis Colts. Well, you can make an argument that the mentality of Alabama is very different from the mentality of any other program in college football right now. Having said that, and I do believe that that's true, okay? I believe in old school coaching. My dad was a coach. He was a Marine. Like, I get it, right? Here's the other side of the coin, though. Alabama, I don't think, is going to win the national championship without Tua. They weren't going to win it last year without Tua. That's why he had to bring him off the bench as a true freshman to play against Georgia in the second half. So, Jason, I'm with you as well. If he goes out there and takes one wrong hit from a Citadel player or steps wrong with his knee and something goes down, and now all of a sudden they're down to the third option at quarterback and they get beat by Auburn, they get beat by Georgia, they're not into the playoff, guess what it is? A failure for Alabama, because there's only one standard for the Tide, and that's winning the national championship. So I'd see both things as being true. The reason they're in this position all the time is because of their culture, and yet the ultimate goal is to win the chip, and you're only doing it with number 13 at quarterback.
I would manipulate the culture in the sense that Bill Belichick doesn't get to play Citadel. He doesn't get any buys during the season.
In AFC East?
He doesn't get
What?
It ain't the Citadel.
Jets?
It ain't the Citadel.
The Jets?
It's not the Citadel.
Let's compare the Citadel to the Jets. No,
but Joel, on to your other point, though, what I think Alabama really needs to be concerned about, this version of Tua, they may not be good enough to win the national championship.
He's certainly not playing to the level he was earlier in the season. And you could make the argument it's because he's banged up.
Yeah, no, because he's banged up, this kid on a bad knee, I don't think can lead them to a national championship. And so if they have any chance here to sit this guy down and rehabilitate him just for a week, they should take advantage of it. And I'm just sorry for if I'm Tua, and Tua may want to go out there and protect his Heisman status or whatever, but someone has to be counseling him on a bigger picture. He needs to sit down, forget the culture. He needs to do what's right for himself long term. And someone, Nick Saban to me would be setting a bad because I actually do believe in favoritism. You don't treat everybody the same. You treat everybody fairly.
Oh, I respect that.
And so what's fair for Tua may not be the same for someone else on that Alabama roster.
Look, I'm not going to go fairy tale and Three Little Pigs, but every culture is constructed differently. So the Dallas Cowboys, when they won 3 or 4, believed in favoritism. Oh, did they? They had a White House. Right. They had everything going on. And we have learned over time how that construction wasn't the best. It wasn't of brick. And you look at the culture of the Saban, and you look at the culture of the Patriots, and you start to realize that favoritism doesn't work. I remember Tom Brady got reprimanded for having his own parking spot. And I was like, God, is it that petty up in New England? And you know what it does? It reinforces to everyone that we're all in this together. And in football, the ultimate team sport, I get it. You could get some perks, but at the same time, if I got to go out there and play, there's a D lineman who has a dislocated finger. There's an offensive lineman who has a hyperextended elbow, and he's going to get it against the Citadel. Tua?
They're not Tua.
Now, if that guy that you're pointing out, I agree. Let me play devil's advocate. Let's say I'm the defensive lineman that's banged up, and I'm playing hurt, right? But I know 13's my ticket to a ring.
Right.
And I'm like, listen, I'll play banged up against the Citadel. You sit down. right? Because you're a more important piece. Now, you can and do generally have that on teams where players understand which players need to be more healthy than others who can just play through whatever, and they can be kind of like Mack trucks. I will say this about this version of Alabama. The way that their offense played last week against Mississippi State, that is a huge crack in their foundation, because teams with really good defenses like Clemson, Georgia, Michigan, even Notre Dame, now all of a sudden say, oh, okay, there's a path. There's a path to holding Alabama to 21, 24 points, and now we can be in a one-possession game late in the fourth quarter. They haven't played a tight ball game in the fourth quarter all year. In fact, Tua has thrown one pass in the fourth quarter this entire season. What I would be trying to do if I was any one of those teams in the future of this season is get them into a tight ball game late, right? And one of the ways you do that is you get Tua not quite 100%. So if you're asking me, which Nick Saban's not, I'm resting him.
Yeah, y'all playing blackjack the way I play it right now. And that is, forget house rules and forget the standard and the culture that he has in place, which is cemented. I have a feel right now. I'm looking in the short term, in a short mindset. I think that this is the best thing for us. And I agree with that, except that's not what they're built on. So why change your philosophy?
But this feels like hitting on 17 when the dealer's got a face card.
That's
right? I mean, like,
careful.
Or the dealer's showing a 3.
Careful.
You know what I mean?
Careful, brother.
It's like I feel good about standing put.
Time for my favorite segment. And today is definitely my favorite segment.
Look at that.
Anti-social. We've got our social media manager, Darnell Smith.
Aight.
And a very special guest. One of Warren Central High School's all-time greats, current 49ers defensive tackle, Sheldon Day, in the house. Sheldon Day and Darnell Smith in the house for Anti-Social.
Ooh, look at Sue and Donald over there. Look at that.
Unblockable back in the day.
Yeah,
we was.
Yeah, you were, huh?
He's still unblockable. I moved on. I was saying that past tense for him.
One of them was past tense.
Right. He probably still got it.
Hey, look, man, this is about as happy as I can be. Two Warren Central greats.
That's big.
We started a tradition in 1984. Jeff George and myself, and these guys built on. I think we won 8 or 9 state championships. We won the first one in '84. Sheldon, the first thing you got to do, you got to shout your mama out because I don't want her mad. Say hello to your mama.
Shout out to Mama Carol. I appreciate everything you do for me.
All right, Darnell, let's get to some social media. Chime in here when you want to, Sheldon.
All right, we're going to start with Sheldon's boy, Richard Sherman. Sherman. Who got clowned on Twitter this summer with some footage of him getting burnt by teammate Marquise Goodwin went viral. People thought he lost a step, but he's actually put together a pretty good season coming back from an Achilles injury. Sherman opened up about this comeback on Twitter saying, people don't judge me objectively usually. They usually have put some pent-up bias that doesn't allow them to respect what I do. Just going to keep putting it on tape best I can. All right, y'all, we all know Sherman is a polarizing figure. Sure. But do y'all think there's a bias against him?
No, I think there's actually a bias for Richard Sherman. The media likes Richard Sherman.
Yeah.
No one's biased against him. I think everybody's happy he's playing well and he's proven his point. No one wants Richard Sherman to go away.
I'm going to side with Compton on this one, Richard Sherman. There were 2 incidents that occurred. One was him talking to Aaron Andrews after that NFC championship game. Remember that?
Yeah.
And everybody and their mama was like, how dare you talking about the opponent of Michael Crabtree like that? And he went through that firestorm. And the other one, it's interesting that Richard Sherman, when he wanted to sign his own deal, be his own agent, a guy from Stanford is not qualified to do this and took the wrong deal, and it looks like he's actually did the right thing. So when you live in that vacuum, you live in that world, sometimes.
I don't know if his play justifies the contract. Fix your collar right here, Marcellus. I don't know if his play justifies the contract. I think his play probably means he ain't getting paid enough. But Sheldon, could you do me a favor when you get back to that San Francisco locker room? I think Richard Sherman thinks I don't like him. He's got me blocked on Twitter. He's got me blocked on Twitter. Could you get the man to unblock me on Twitter?
Yeah, we're very close, so I'm going to see what I can do for you.
I'm
the word in for him?
Yeah, y'all got the same hairstyle. Y'all probably get your hair done at the same place.
How you going to get him to unblock him when them Giants was blocking y'all?
Oh!
How you know sack Eli, dog? No, I'm sorry. How y'all lose to the Giants, dog?
Yeah, man. I mean, when people are so scared about your D-line, they bring 8 to protect, only send 2 people out. I mean, it's only so much you can do. You've been through it, you know?
That's real. Put that back on Sherman, didn't he?
Now, what's next?
All right, man. You know we got to talk about your boy, Whitlock.
Yeah.
Patrick Mahomes, who's having an MVP caliber season, but in his off time as a Fortnite player. I know y'all are too old to know what Fortnite is, but it's a battle royal online video game. The NFL recently partnered with Fortnite to allow characters to wear player jerseys, and Mahomes learned it the hard way. Check this out. Yesterday, I played Fortnite for the first time in a while, and someone killed me with my jersey on. Don't know how I feel about it. All right, well, we all know you're the grumpy old man here on the set. Are you concerned about Mahomes spending too much time playing video games, going to get this big game?
No, I love video games. I just don't know what Fortnite is. I don't know what Fortnite is.
You grew up on the Atari.
I play Asteroids. Look, but let me say the truth about video games. I gave them up, I think it was probably 12 years ago.
Okay.
I used to love the NCAA college football game.
Yeah.
I went to my basement one night to play NCAA college football and came out of my basement 36 hours later.
Whoa.
Franchise mode.
Yeah.
And I was in full franchise mode. And I was like,
what?
I just blew 36 hours. And I gave all my games away and have never played since.
Basement, huh?
Yeah.
Ma, meatloaf. And you up in there going hard.
Where's the pizza rolls?
Step it up. Oh, man, I gave them up in 95 in college. As soon as Madden went from you could just run back 30 yards and just still complete a touchdown, when it got realistic, I was like, I'm out, dog. I just played it for really the video game of it. This is a fun fact. Red Redemption 2, you heard of that video game? Dead Redemption 2, is that what it's called? Red Dead Redemption 2. Biggest opening in entertainment history. Like, they sold nearly $1 billion of this game in 3 days, brother. Just putting y'all up on game.
Are y'all Fortnite players?
I'm not. I'm more of just a 2K guy myself. I know you like to play that Call of Duty, right?
Yeah. So I feel like games are a de-stress for NFL guys. You know, so much stress builds up throughout the week. You need something to kind of de-stress and things like that. So I can understand why he's playing so much, especially being at such a high level.
And especially being a 49er, all that stress. All them L's.
I mean, when you're on national television five times, you know, playing Monday Night Football, I mean, the stress is great, you know? Especially when you can live up to it. I don't know about you.
There we go. Now he's open up. There it is.
All right, Darnell, what's next?
All right, talk little Kirk Cousins here, who's experienced his first brutally cold Minnesota winter and tweeted about the unique way his family's getting through it. 7 degrees this morning. My wife's coping mechanism is Christmas lights, Christmas music, and Christmas decor. It's a bit early, but I'm okay with it. Thoughts? All right, y'all. I know my family, we usually wait till after Thanksgiving before we start putting up decorations. Is it too early to be in the holiday spirit?
Love the holiday spirit early. I'm not a decorations guy, but I love the Christmas cartoons. I'm Mr. Heat Miser. Love that cartoon.
I ain't never heard.
I don't know what he's talking about.
Say, not familiar.
I don't know what that is.
Not my channel. Next. I am a fan. My wife, we're already up. The Christmas lights are up and everything.
Wow.
And you know why? It's because of value. So if you wait till after Thanksgiving, you're still going to have the same end date. You're still going to say, all right, New Year's, it's time to take them down. But why not get more for your money? Get more value. So I think it's a new trend where people are just like, hey, put them up as early as possible to get more use out of it. I'm with
Why
you.
not? Why not? All right. Last but not least, Darnell.
All right, you know we had yesterday off, so I was at home chilling, watching Lock It In. And my guy Clay Travis had a really interesting point when it comes to Mike McCarthy and the Packers. Take a listen.
The pressure is starting to get ratcheted up a little bit on Mike McCarthy. Remember yesterday we talked to Greg Jennings, and I was like, hey, how much pressure do you think that Mike McCarthy's under? And Bonetta pointed out that he tap-danced that question like crazy. He didn't want to answer it.
I love reminiscing.
I think,
3 minutes over.
Yeah, I think that there is a great deal of pressure on Mike McCarthy. I think it's going to go to a completely different level when the Packers get eliminated from playoff contention when they lose on Thursday night and the Seahawks cover.
All right, y'all think Mike McCarthy will be on the hot seat if they lose Thursday night?
Yeah, if they lose Thursday night, he's certainly on the hot seat. I'm not convinced they're going to lose. that little high school offense Seattle ran this past week, I don't think, they're going to throw an extra offensive tackle out there. I don't think it's going to get it done against Aaron Rodgers and the Packers.
He's on the hot seat, certainly. Look, he has to iron it out between him and Aaron Rodgers, whatever those differences are, because it's just like KD and Draymond. We may like you, but what do you need, KD, to stay here? And Aaron Rodgers is in that same KD position where management's going to come to him. How do you feel about Mike McCarthy? Because we can't have these issues continue going forward.
You know what? Very quickly before we get out of here, wouldn't you agree with me? Sheldon Day better than Darnell.
Yeah.
Particularly starting
how many off weeks y'all got?
Maybe we got Sheldon to replace Darnell.
Don't try to split. That's my boy. That's what I'm saying right there.
Sheldon, what's up? What you doing in about a month? Because y'all ain't going to the playoffs, so you're going to be here quick. Come on, baby.
I'll be training so we go to the Super Bowl next year.
Yeah.
Always
if you
preparing.
wore the Warren Central shirt, I would have offered you a job.
Yeah, I got the helmet. Can I still get a job?
Jason West, David Bell, these guys are watching and dependent on us to represent the Dub C. All right. Uncle Jimmy's here to help us talk about our approval rating for Draymond Green. Uncle Jimmy, good to have you back.
There we go again. Uncle Jimmy, small talk, mellow. Oh, hey, Uncle Jimmy, how are you? Look here, man. I got jobs to do, all right? I got mail to deliver. In case you want to know, I'm the original mailman. You understand? I deliver on weekends. Okay? And now we got a new service. I'm even delivering on the back door. You know what I'm saying?
I bet you are.
That's what I'm just telling you.
That chain on.
All right, let's move. Let's hear some highlights from our conversation earlier in the show about Draymond Green.
Draymond, you ain't as thorough as you are advertised. You ain't as 100 as you want to go out there and profess. You know why? Because if you're thorough in all moments and all encounters, there's no pinned up energy. There's no pinned up emotion. There's no, now let me just unveil everything. When Draymond unloaded on Kevin Durant, I think Kevin Durant and his brother realized, oh, you're the guy that wants to be the bully on the block, but in reality, you're sitting there suppressing a lot of issues.
All right, that was Marcellus going off.
Man. All right. That was Marcellus.
Yeah,
Here we go. Now, can we talk about this?
Yeah.
Can we bring this one up to talk about this? See, here's the problem that we got right here, man. Let me break this down for you. Because I just think that, man, one of the things we need to start doing, man, you need to start letting me get some more airtime. First of all. I'm
you at work.
What's your take on Draymond?
That's why you ain't getting more airtime.
That's my first take. No, man, look here. Here's the thing, man. See, because so many times I get so upset when I hear things about Kevin Durant, about how they treating each other. Man, and you know what you need to do, man? We need to just try to get together. We need to try to just stick together. You won 1 championship, 2 championships, 3. Go for some more. Get some Boston-type championships. Now, once again, we got to mess the whole thing up. All it takes is 1, and there we go.
So who's in the wrong, though? I mean, looking at Draymond, he's unloading on the guy who's just trying to tell him.
Look here, man, real quick. Let me break it down for you real fast. Look here, it's just like this here. Let me explain it to you. And just try to roll with me real fast, all right? All right. You had Tito. You had Tito.
I know.
You had Jackie, and you had Jermaine.
Jackie?
They was managed by who? They was managed by Joe, all right?
Yeah.
And they was called who? The Jackson Brothers, right?
Yeah, the Jackson.
All right, they was the Jackson Brothers.
Oh, okay.
And then all of a sudden, the little brother came along. When the little brother came along, they had already won a couple of championships. They already won a couple of things. Now, little brother joined the game. Now, Tito, a.k.a. What's his name? Draymond Green. Tito Green come along.
Tito Green.
You hating on Kevin. Look, Kevin, a.k.a. Little Michael, because he coming along showing you up.
Oh, he done made a Jackson 5 analogy.
No, Jackson Brothers.
Oh, the Jackson
Brothers. Who was the original manager of the Jackson Brothers?
Joe Jackson.
Joe.
No, Mark.
Who?
Mark Jackson.
Oh,
Mark. Who was the original that put it together? See, that's my problem. See?
Yeah, you got a problem.
The people don't realize it's right there in their face, coming right there back around with us. Hey, if they had to say so of me, who I would have put out the group would have been Tito. I wouldn't have put out Michael.
Michael left the group.
I don't think anybody put out Michael. Matter of fact, they trying to keep Michael.
Michael left the group.
KD.
You think KD ain't leaving?
almost him and Joe Clatt need to play blackjack and talk about Michael Jackson.
Hey, man, looking at this team, you see why Joe used to whoop them boys' ass? Looking at this team, do you see why Joe used to beat them boys' ass?
We gotta go to the approval rating.
Yeah, please.
Oh, it's just me now.
Yeah, right now.
Draymond Green,
I ain't going to jail.
19 job performance, 18 all-time greatness, character 11, authenticity of 22, total of 70.
Ooh, okay.
This boy's dumb.
Look, we
boy's
on the
dumb.
court, we look at him the same way,
I
man.
swear, boy.
Utility player, a tremendous authenticity. I had to knock him out. I mean, he was a 25 before this moment, but then I started to look at it like, I've never seen somebody just unleash like that. Character, why you got him so low?
Man, the dude beat up a college kid.
Was the dude? No, that was an adult.
Naked pictures on Snapchat.
That's iCloud
Who
issues.
ain't done that?
Blame iCloud.
Cost the team a championship.
I'm the reason why y'all won some too, but I'm
Okay.
What?
I'm sure there's other. Draymond Green is shady. Man, everybody.
Man, wait till next year. Wait till next year. I can hear him right now.
Kick Steven
When
Adams
I had
down
you to
low.
myself, I didn't want you around. Your 3-point play
We
just
gotta go.
always made you. I want
Lock
back.
it in.
Oh,
Lock
yes,
it
I
in
do
is
now.
next.